Welcome to another episode of the Wandering Watercolor. Thank you for joining me. My name is Constantine, and today we are painting the 10th page of the Cute Dogs Watercolor coloring book that I hand make. If you're here because you purchased it, I thank you. I really appreciate you. And if you're interested in purchasing it, it'll be in the description. Yeah, let's get to painting. So this is the 10th page, and if you didn't buy it, that's okay. You can always just pause the video, sketch out the image, and then continue playing when you want to start painting with us. As always, I have my brush. Any old brush will do, no big deal. Porcelain little plate. This is a soap dish. I use it to mix my colors. Any plate or glass plate will work, or porcelain or glass. Honestly, any surface will work. I just suggest those two because they're the easiest to clean. My palette, I do make my own paint, so if you bought paint from me, you should be able to follow along, no problem. If you didn't, any paint works. Again, I'll just explain how to mix the colors. I always try to explain how to mix the colors on every video so that anybody can follow along. And always have a scrap piece of paper, just to test different marks and colors on. And then a rag. I use a cotton rag, but you can just use paper towel if you don't have a cotton rag. But yeah, so with this one, we are going to go a little more expressive, just like the last one. I actually really enjoyed doing that one, that expressive, like I did. And basically, there's not a lot of marks on this one either. It's basically it's a golden retriever, so it's all the same color. And, we have the background and the ground, but that's it. The light will be coming from this way, from the upper left, similar to the last time. And yeah, let's just start painting. Basically, put some water down on your dish first. We will need a good amount of paint mixed up, since it's a large object. The body of the dog is a large object on the page. So we're gonna grab a little bit of my brown tends to lean more towards the orange for some reason. So we're just gonna grab a bunch of that, and then we will also grab some of the yellow ochre. For you, if you're using a different palette, you may just need to use brown, yellow, and red or you may not even need brown. You may just need yellow and red, or try experimenting to get a combination that would be close to this color, or you don't even have to use this color. You can make a completely different color. So I'm just gonna go straight in. Go ahead and lay that in right there. I'm putting the darker marks on this side because of where the shadow would fall on the dog itself. And I'm not too worried about messing up marks. I'm painting kind of loosely today, so I'm just gonna kind of throw those in like that. Get some water, maybe bring some of it out, get a little more pigment on the back leg here, like that, and some water, and like that. There we go. Okay. Now I'm just gonna grab some of this color and just kind of throw some splatters, and then maybe grab a little water and then make some marks, kind of like because remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. And the more we layer the contrasting colors as we built up everything, it actually adds a lot of interest. It just makes the image much more interesting. Okay, so we're good on that. Actually, I'm just gonna grab a little more just over here underneath the tongue. There we go, kind of fill that in. Okay, so we're just gonna let that dry. And I'm actually gonna dry off my brush a little bit and kind of mix this in. Just a little pooling of pigment happening that I'm just kind of gonna adjust. So that's fine. Now I'm gonna grab the brown. I'm gonna grab some of the green. Mix it in together. Oh, it's too much green. Way too much green. I'm gonna grab the brown. Okay, this is a good brown color. It's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay that down over here. Kind of in between. And then just making some strokes just kind of like to show where the ground is. But it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just kind of like just imagine like a dirt path. I'm gonna dry off my brush a little bit and just so I can get those nice textured strokes. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna rinse off my brush. Okay. Excuse me, I had to stop for a moment to blow my nose. My allergies are killing me. Okay, so now this color. Add a little bit of red to it. Just a little bit. Maybe a little yellow. Maybe a little bit of the lighter yellow. There we go. A little more red. Because you know how Goldens have this like orangish kind of. It's a very variable kind of fur coat that they have. But basically I'm going to use this to add the shadows. So there's a lot of shadows, you know, right there, like that. So this side of the body is mostly in shadow. I'm gonna leave a little sliver of lighter color over here because when the light wraps around, usually that'll happen on an object. So I'm gonna like this, and then shadow right there. And I can also kind of use the darker color just to make some strokes just to show how the fur looks, you know, like with the texture of the fur. A little bit right there, maybe right there underneath the tail, like that, right there. Okay. A lot of this area is still very wet, so like the strokes that I'm leaving won't look quite right. So I'm just gonna let that dry a little more. Maybe focus a little bit on the face here. Just give a little bit of kind of like an eyebrow. You know how Goldens have these really expressive faces? Maybe a little bit over here for the way that the light would be hugging. Emphasize where the shadow would fall, like that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Rinse my brush. And dry off my brush. Maybe kind of like smooth over some of these right here. I don't like how these marks exactly. I don't like how exactly they look. So Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Here, rinse my brush, and then I'm gonna grab some blue. Some water. Okay. I'm gonna do like the previous one. I'm just gonna do some marks just to show. Okay. There is some background there, some background color. Doesn't have to be too much. Maybe a little bit around the dog. Maybe a little bit right here underneath. Just a spot here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I don't want it to overlap too much with the strokes that we already made. There we go. Kind of expressive. You know, kind of loose is what we're going for. Rinse our brush. Mix a little bit of a color for the tongue. So we're just going to grab the red and a little bit of a yellow ochre. Just red and yellow should actually work as well. Just red and yellow, but not too much. You know, you're just kind of you're going for like almost like a salmon pink color, which is pretty close to that. Right in there. Yeah, that's looking more, I don't know, maybe I didn't rinse my brush well enough. Try my brush. Gonna pick up some of that. Get a little more red in there. Try and make it a little more pink. There we go. I'm gonna dry my brush. Pick up some of the pigment. Okay, so that's fine. And then I'm gonna grab, so this color, the orange coat, now we need to make it darker, so I'm gonna add a little more of the brown, but also get a little bit of the dark blue. A little bit, you don't need a lot, because blue is a complementary color to orange, so it works very quickly to darken up the color itself. So that looks good. I'll go ahead and lay that in. Just a couple of, make some shadows here under the ear and down here. And then down here. And then that. Okay. And then, okay, back here. We're just emphasizing, we're not going completely over all of the shadows. We're just emphasizing some areas. Maybe add a little bit of texture for the hairs and underneath the tail here. Because remember, we're just layering. Take a moment, step back, take a look at it. Okay, maybe a little bit of more right there. Alright, rinse off my brush. I'm gonna grab a little bit of black. A little bit right there. That's good. And then color in the nose. Just completely, just a flat wash. And then I'm just gonna grab a lot of black, go straight in for the eyes. Take your time. Sorry if I'm blocking some of the camera. And basically you want to make sure that you leave a little bit of a highlight in the eye. Kind of messed up a little bit. Right there. Okay, and grab a little bit of black again for the nostrils. Just kind of go in like that. And also for the lips themselves, the lips of the dog are very black on some parts, not all of them. Like that. Here, rinse off my brush. And now we got a little bit of black and mix it in with the brown. And get a little extra brown if you need to. Basically, we're making a darker version of this color. So now you can see when we put this, it looks much darker. It's a much darker color, but it also looks like it's not too far removed from what the color of the shadow already is. Do a little outline. Do another one. Just some marks right there. And the outside of the ear. And the outside, just an outline. That, and just some strokes for the fur. There we go. And then down here in the back leg, as well as the tail. Okay, and then just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some blue and mix that in here. The blue with the brown. Get more blue. So the reason being is we want to lay down a shadow on the ground. And the shadow is going to go like this. Connecting from the two back legs to the two front legs, and then going a little bit further out and adding a little bit of a kind of like for the head, like that. There we go. All right, step back, take a look at it. So we're pretty close to being done. Not yet, we're almost there. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this dark color here and add some outline underneath the ear. Like that. A little bit for the bottom of the upper lip. There we go. Maybe a little bit over here just to show to separate the muzzle from the ear, from the one on the left. A little bit of marks. Okay, just a couple of marks. I'm just trying to kind of add some contrast to make sure that some areas stand out more than others. But yeah, honestly, the only thing that's really bothering me about this, I'm gonna add some water and then just kind of like rub this in, like this right here. This texture is really bothering me for some reason. I feel like it's, there we go, kind of got rid of that. I feel like it was really distracting. I don't know why. Okay. And the only other thing I could think of is maybe grabbing a little more of the pink that we mixed for the tongue, and then just going right here, giving a little outline, and then like that, and then a little bit on the gums, and rinsing it off and take another look at it. Yep, that was good. We are done with that one. Okay, so that was what, 22 minutes. So yeah, hopefully that all made sense. Again, as always, leave a comment, or if you have any questions, you can also leave it in the comments or just email me, tag me, whatever works. I will try to respond within 24 hours. This one was a little more chaotic. I kind of started off very expressive, as you can tell in the background. That's why I kept layering on those high contrasting darks to kind of help separate the dog from the background a little more. Obviously, you don't have to paint it like I did. You could use different colors, different techniques. And if you do, please tag me. I love seeing what people do with their interpretations of each page. Yeah, so I'm working on another book currently. It's for plants, so that should be coming out in 2 weeks. Not next week, but in 2 weeks. And I'll have some other videos just in the meantime, but I appreciate you for painting with me, and I will see you next time.